Hello everyone, today we'll be analyzing an incredible UFO clip as well as looking at an amazing case from the 70s on Analyzing Today's UFO Clips episode 43. Okay guys, so today we're going to skip the intro and jump directly into our first clip, which I ran into recently and I'm sure maybe a lot of you have already seen, but here we're going to try to analyze it. This clip is one of those that's just too good to be true. And just a disclaimer, I haven't found anyone anywhere that's debunked this yet, but I apologize if in a week, month, or year, this has been debunked. Because I mean, you just never know in today's climate of UFO TikTok videos and hoaxes. But let's go ahead and look at this footage as it comes to us from Denver, Colorado, taken on October of 2021. The video is of an object with no means of conventional propulsion spinning through a partly cloudy sky. Whoever's taking this footage seems to be zooming in from a pretty good distance, but they do, however, do a really good job of getting a lot of detail of whatever it is that's in the sky. So what do we see? Well, it appears we're looking at an object that's crescent in shape with a large opening covered by a bubble of transparent material, kind of like glass. There's points in the video where you can actually see the sunset gleaming off of the glass-like material. And in the video, you can see it floating about and spinning sometimes clockwise, other times counterclockwise. But what caught my eye about this video is that recently people have been slowing down the footage and stabilizing it and trying to get a glimpse of what's inside this craft. And there's a point in the video where, how can I put this? It really does look like we have something standing inside that looks like a stereotypical alien-looking creature peering out of this large window. Let's go slowly through the motions so you can take a look at it. As it spins, if we pause right around here, take a look and tell me what you see. And keep in mind that I'm not messing with the frames at all. This is exactly what the video shows us. And what do we see here? When we look here, I think we can actually make out a figure, don't you? But if it appears in this frame, why does it seem to not be so clear in other frames? Is this frame a case of sometimes we see what we want to see? What do you guys think? Now if we switch it up and look at these frames, you can also kind of see that something is standing up in the front close to the glass bubble. But let's go ahead and return to our previous frame and let's up the contrast. And I mean, yeah, it looks comically like one of those little dudes we've been used to seeing over the years. This pixelated shot kind of reminds me of the Turkish UFO incident where analyzers kept seeing faint figures in the still images. Now let's pause and analyze the shape and characteristics of the craft, as it's like nothing I've ever seen before. And I mean, its overall look and shape makes me say that it looks, well, completely alien, no pun intended. Basically like nothing from this earth, at least that I've seen. Let's look at some of the details. For one, the color. To all of you UFO heads out there, you know that in the past we've heard that some UFOs have been described as having a dark pewter color, quite a bit like we see in this case here. In this frame we get to see its crescent shape as well as the large cavity or opening that seems to be in the middle, covered by this glass-like material. In this frame here we also get to see a band of sorts at the very top. You can also see it here in this shot. Overall, it's just super weird. And if this isn't CGI, then we can pretty much cross out drones, because drones need rotors or at the very least wings to fly. Only other thing that it could be if it's a physical thing and we want to tie it here to the earth is maybe a balloon of sorts. But I just don't see this being the case. And I gotta tell you guys that I can only dream that we're looking at an anti-gravity craft using tech from another world flying through the sky in this video. Either way, super interesting footage. And I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please let me know in the comments down below. Next is a clip that I want to share with you of a UFO case that I personally hadn't heard about before and that I really enjoyed. We'll be listening to the real Valentich cockpit tape, filed by retired NASA scientist Dr. Harris. No commentary from me needed for this one. Just grab some popcorn and enjoy the story.
Delta Sierra Juliet, what type of aircraft is it?
That was deleted from the press accounts for some reason.
Delta Sierra Juliet, and confirm you cannot identify the aircraft. Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. Stand by. Can you describe the aircraft? Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. How large would the object be? Delta Sierra Juliet. Delta Sierra Juliet, confirm your aircraft just vanished. Delta Sierra Juliet, is the aircraft still with you? Delta Sierra Juliet, roger. What are your intentions?
To go to King Island, Melbourne, the current aircraft is bothering a properly again. And they're bothering, and it's not an aircraft. Delta Sierra Juliet, Melbourne.
This event took place October 21st, 1978, out of Melbourne, Australia. It achieved worldwide attention here in America as well. A young pilot named Frederick Valentich was flying by himself in a rented Cessna 182 long-range model. He took off in the evening en route over Bass Strait, which is out over the ocean south of Australia, to go to King Island. He's going to land, refuel, buy some crayfish, which are a delicacy, and then come back with the crayfish that night. Why is he doing this? In order to earn more flight hours for a commercial license, and also instrument rating and so forth. Well, what happens is he gets approximately 6 minutes out over Bass Strait, which is now pitch dark, and he sees a very strange lighted object ahead of him that hovers above him, that disappears instantaneously, and then reappears in a new location, which is a long shape. He said, "Melbourne, I've got a long shape. It's got a green light. Would you know what kind of aircraft I've got?" Well, this radio tape, which lasts 14 minutes, really constitutes all the evidence there is on this case. And I've done an analysis of that voice tape and reconstructed the event, and Frederick Valentich disappeared at the end of this event this evening. Nothing was ever found. It's a very fascinating case because of all of the challenges to understanding what might have happened at a distance, in this case in Australia, from here in America. The search and rescue operation went into effect the next morning. He did not arrive on time, and so automatically the authorities set up an SAR, it's called, Search and Rescue Operation. The Royal Australian Air Force got into gear and flew P-3 search planes. His friends at the air club mounted an effort and took off and flew crisscross patterns and so forth the next day, several days actually. They could find nothing. No wreckage has ever been found. The long-range model Cessna had flotation tanks in the wings and various parts of the fuselage. So something should show up sooner or later on a beach. And the parts of the aircraft fuselage have serial numbers stamped into them. And so sooner or later, something should show up, but nothing ever did. The Maritime Commission, or the organization, I should say, in Melbourne, issued a notice to ships at sea to be looking for wreckage at all, and oil slicks on the water. Nothing was ever found. The continental shelf at this point, I don't remember the exact depth, but it's fairly shallow. And of course it is mapped very precisely for naval reasons. I don't believe any detailed underwater search was done. I don't believe so. The case is very interesting from the standpoint that here's a young man who had a wonderful career ahead. He was bright, hardworking, honest as far as we can tell. He had everything to lose by making up a story like this.
Like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I wonder how many of these cases just never saw the light of day. I also wonder how many disappearances of people can be blamed or connected directly to some unknown UFO encounter. Fascinating story, and as I get more, I'll be sure to share. So thanks for sticking with me. As always, this is Jesse. Please like and subscribe, as well as share this content with like-minded UFO lovers, and remember, always keep your eyes to the sky, your cameras ready, and an open mind, because we love the UFOs. Till next time.